At the end of last school year, our daughter was teaching at a middle school. She was actually doing long-term sub there for a percussion instructor. And she said, hey, by the way, they don't have a cymbal holder. The cymbals are just kind of sitting everywhere on the ground. Everybody's afraid they're going to get broken. Is there a way me and you could work together and build a cymbal holder? So I was all about it. I was excited to get to work with my daughter to build something. Of course, then later in the summer, she just says, oh, by the way, did you ever get that thing built? So it turned in, it started as an us project, turned into a me project. But anyway, I was happy to do it for them. I definitely enjoy supporting music in the schools. I think it teaches kids a lot of good lessons. They needed the cymbal holder to be fairly tall and fairly narrow, which kind of goes against most of the cymbal holders I see. Usually they're very long and not very tall, but this one they needed to fit their space. They needed it to be a little bit different. They wanted it to be 18 inches wide, so that's what we've got here. They said up to 76 tall. I ended up making it 71 tall, and they can, just set something on the top if they need that extra space. They mentioned they wanted the holders to be able to support a 30-inch cymbal because they had a 30-inch ride, and I thought, wait a minute. Man, I've got a 20-inch ride here, and even this one seems big. I think I've got some ride cymbal envy with those middle schoolers, and, to me, a 30-inch cymbal feels more like a gong, but whatever, we'll make it for their specifications. So anyway, follow along, we'll go through how we built it. It's definitely nothing that is high-end furniture or anything, or a high-end application. It's just strictly basic woodworking to get this built, and hopefully it'll come in handy and work out really well for the kids. So I started out by cutting the sheet goods into manageable pieces with the table saw. And then I made a few extra cuts with the bore straight edge and a circular saw to get the pieces down to the size I needed. It really would help to have a track saw or to have a more of a cabinet sized table saw, but I made do with what I had. And to be honest, just a circular saw would have made the cuts too if I only had that available. And after cutting up the pieces, I moved into the garage and started out on the floor just creating the shell of the box. I've got some corner clamps that I use. Those things are great. They do a really good job of holding everything square while I'm screwing it in. And I ended up using brad nails and countersunk screws to put the frame together. I ended up using 3/4 inch plywood for the outside of the frame and for the two main shelves that go right here. I ended up using 1/2 inch plywood for the dividers. I thought about using 1/4 inch because it would have been a little cheaper. But man, especially with these being 30, I think I did 31 inches so I could make sure I had 30 inches available in these slots. The dividers just really seem to flex. I mean, even here, there's a little flex at a 1/2 inch, but once you're at a 1/4 inch, these things really flexed a lot, and I just wasn't comfortable with that. I want them to be a little more rigid, especially if they load up 2 or 3 cymbals in each one of these. There'll be a little bit of weight pushing on those dividers, and I just didn't want them to flex at all. So I started out by cutting my first couple of dividers to 31 inches. And then I used those to put here, and that way I could know exactly where I want to put these shelves in. I put the shelf here, moved the dividers up, and installed this shelf. And again, I just secured these with brad nails and countersunk screws just to make sure they were secure. I know a lot of people are going to comment that I should have glued all this together. I kind of skipped the glue in a lot of places. The reason is just if they ever wanted to modify this, I don't think they're going to get a cymbal bigger than 30, but you never know. They could get one smaller or get many small ones and decide they'd rather add a shelf in here and cut this in half. They could easily pull things apart and do that. If I would have glued it together, you'd pretty much have to destroy this plywood trying to pull it apart if everything were glued. So I kind of shied away from that a little bit. Now I considered using a dado bit in my router or putting my dado stack on the table saw and cutting dados to hold the separators here, the dividers. But I decided against it. With this only being 3/4 of an inch, if I did a 1/4 inch divider on top and a 1/4 inch divider on bottom, I'm only going to have a 1/4 inch left of the plywood. And that just didn't feel like enough to be supporting this kind of weight. So I really wanted to not modify that 3/4 inch plywood and keep it thick. So what I ended up doing was using the 1/4 inch plywood that I had and make these little spacers. So I would put a spacer in top and bottom and then be able to put the divider up and get it exactly, you know, where I needed it each time. Now she said they wanted these 2.5 inches apart. So I was able to get that on the first 4. And the last one I would have had a 2.5 and then a 1. I decided there I would just make it a little bit bigger. It ends up being about 4.5 on the last one there. But the good thing is they can, you know, put a bigger cymbal if they've got a weird splash or something that's kind of an odd shape. It may be a little thicker than 2.5 inches. They could put it there. And they could also put a stack of cymbals in there if they needed to. I'd rather them have that flexibility than be locked down with the, you know, smaller dividers. And like I say, I was using 1/2 inch plywood for the dividers. I only had enough plywood to make 6 of the dividers. I didn't want to have to go to the store and buy another sheet of plywood just to make a couple more. I did have some extra 1/4 inch plywood, so I cut 2 of those and glued them together to create one 1/2 inch one. And the last one here, I was out of 1/4 inch by this point, so I ended up just making it out of 3/4 inch. It's a little thicker, but definitely sturdier. And again, it doesn't have to match exactly, so I was comfortable with that, and I think it still has a good look to it. I wanted to add some carpet to the bottom of the bins here. I could kind of envision in my head how these middle school percussionists are going to put the cymbals in the storage unit here. And again, not judging. I was a middle school percussionist at one time too, and I know kind of how I treated equipment and treated our storage stuff, and I can only imagine how they're going to do it. I mean, I can imagine still they're going to stand across the room and try to throw the cymbals in here, but I can't really fix that. That's a whole different issue. So once we had each piece of carpet done, we kind of put it down, used a hot glue gun to secure it to the wood. It's my wife's hot glue gun. It's a great little tool. It just has batteries. You don't have to plug it in. It heats up great. Does a tremendous job, made this really quick and easy for us to get through it. So overall, that's it. That's the completed project. We've got this extra space up here, again, doing 31 and 31. I had a small space and I thought, you know, I could make a couple of shelves or I can just make one shelf up there. I think it'll be perfect. You could put a few cymbal stands in there if you wanted to. You can put mallets in there, especially mallets that are used like these, which are my cymbal mallets. You know, it just gives you a little flexible space. You can do whatever you want to with. In fact, you could put cymbals up there and just kind of stack them if you wanted to.